Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're tuning in. Welcome back to Niger Man's Perspective. Today, I have one of my favorite, tech engineers, tech people in the world. His name is Shola Oshinawan. He's a data scientist. Shola, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Thanks
First,
for program.
you're welcome. You're welcome. You beat me to it. I was just going to say thank you so much for joining us. So, like I said, Shola's the data scientist. Shola, do you want to just give a little bit of a introduction in terms of what you do and maybe expand a little bit more about data science before we move into what we're discussing today, which is AI?
Okay, so data science is a branch of artificial intelligence. It has to do with predicting the outcome of an event, mining of data, studying a data set, and advising people, management about what the future will look like. And over the years, there has been expansion in data science, areas like natural language processing, which is having computer understand human language better, areas like image, having computer or data science being able to generate images, voice to speech, TTS, all these are areas that has evolved from the original data science, what we knew data science could do, which was basically to just predict. In the early days of data science, it was just about predicting or predictive analytics. But now a lot is being done with data science, with machine learning, which is about training, writing algorithms. You train the algorithms and then you embed the algorithms into various models. You give it a name, and then the model themselves are able to now produce results based on data that is being fed into it. So that's just a brief summary about what data science is all about.
Okay, thank you very much. You touched on a few things. I just wanted to say you said it's a subset of AI, which means AI is a larger part. So data science is a subset of AI. So what is
Yeah.
AI? What is artificial intelligence? It seems to be the rave of the moment. Everywhere you go is AI this, AI that. In your words, what is AI or what is artificial intelligence?
Okay, so artificial intelligence, in my words, is when machines are able to think intelligently like humans and are able to do what normally human beings would do. That's they're able to do those repetitive tasks that humans would normally use their brain to do. Now machines can do it without humans, either just by little man interference, that you tell them what you want them to do,
Mhm.
or sometimes they just do it on their own by virtue of it being programmed or scheduled to do it at a particular point in time. So that's what artificial intelligence is all about.
So can you give us a brief history of when it started? Like I said, it's the rave of the moment, but I don't think it started today. Can you just give us a brief historical context of AI?
Okay, so just like every aspect of science, AI itself has evolved over the years. The first major mention of AI was between 1950s, and a man called Alan Turing, Turin,
Alan
Alan,
Turing.
yeah,
Okay.
asked a question in one of his publications. He said, "Can machine think?" So asking that question, "Can machine think?" it prompted other people to now ask themselves, "Okay, is it possible for machine to think?" And over the years, from the 50s to the 60s, further evolvement came. Next, we had what we call symbolic AI, otherwise known as the good old-fashioned AI. And that was like the next step after Turing came up with the question can machine think. So symbolic AI basically entails drawing up symbols, drawing up charts,
Mm-hmm.
then feeding the machine. By machine, I'm not talking of physical machine, but I'm talking of computer system. Feeding the computer system, letting the computer system learn from visual images. For example, flower. For example, if you see in let's look at medical science now. If you see in any any blood sample, if you see that the color is maybe yellow, that means this person likely has yellow fever. This is just an example. So you draw it up, draw the various images, label them, then put it into the system. Let the system learn that if you see this image, you're able to act this way. If you see this image, you're able to act this way. So as at that time, AI was clearer because you can say, this is the image we gave it. This is the outcome we expect. So some of the challenges we're having with AI now, we didn't exist then because it was very, very clear. So after the symbolic AI, then there came sometime in 1966 in MIT, ELIZA, just like the word Elizabeth, but ELIZA,
It's like
ELIZA.
a
So that was done by someone in MIT, and that was the first main chatbot, what we call chatbots today now.
in
And what it did,
1966.
66, yes,
Interesting.
1966. So
Interesting.
that was the 66. So chatbot, and what it did was to simulate. Of course, intentionally, the name Eliza is more like it was simulating the female voice of a consultant,
Okay.
so that people could go in and then just type in, and then the female voice will speak and take them to what they are looking at. So that was the evolution of AI from the 50s up to the 80s. Then when we're now, so of course, by the 80s, AI didn't evolve much. Rather, what was evolving then was the computer science with regards to DOS. That was the time Microsoft came up with the Windows system. Before then, there was DOS. But with the coming of Windows, involvement came into computer system. It now made it easier now for us to experience the next evolution of AI, which now came in the 90s. And then we're now talking of what today we call machine learning. So
Okay.
prior to when it was just DOS, people couldn't do much. DOS system, anyone who has used the DOS system is blank screen, ugly looking, you wasn't user friendly. But with Windows operating system and other operating systems that became like almost like the design of Windows, people could now go further to look at, okay, what can we even do with regards to AI? And that is when we can now talk of machine learning. That is when, little by little, we started seeing the beginning of Gen AI. But the real beginning of Gen AI did not come to sometime 2014 when ChatGPT came in. Because I must first also explain the difference between the regular AI and Gen AI. I started by saying that data science is part of what data science does is to predict.
Yes.
The normal AI we had prior to the Gen AI, what it does is you are able to predict. For example, a company on their website,
Mm-hmm.
you are they write an application or have a feature on their website that makes it easy for the system to be able to say, Mr. Shola, because you liked this product, you are most likely going to like other products, these other products. Because people who have visited our website who use this product also use this other product. That is predictive analytics. Just to predict. Of course, we still have that aspect of AI very common all over. You are using your Netflix, you are on Amazon, you are in different places, you still have a lot of predictive analytics. But when Gen AI came, generated, it now made AI to be able to generate its own contents. So that was now a game changer. It wasn't just going to predict, but it could generate its own content.
So are you talking about brand new content now?
Brand new content. Brand new content based on the training that the AI has gotten. So let me now break down how the Gen AI works. So the first is you need to train the AI. You train the AI model by writing algorithms and feeding it with data. Then the next thing you need to do, the AI will now look out for patterns, probabilities, relationships between all that you fed it with. Once it's able to master it to a large extent, then you can now tell the AI, I want you to create this for me. It will now look at all that has been created in the past based on the data and create the next occurrence of such a thing. So it's not predicting. So imagine you feed an AI with a book. I'm talking of Gen AI now. You feed it with a book on maybe history of UK or history of Nigeria.
Okay, let's do history of Nigeria on the Nigerian's perspective.
Okay,
let's talk about
history of Nigeria, history of the Yoruba people, history of the Hausa people. You fed it. It will study the book, the various characters of the book. It will go online also, feed other information, get other information with regards to maybe Yoruba history.
Yes.
When next you tell it, write a book on Oduduwa, for example. What you've trained it about Oduduwa, it might not touch it. It has used that one to generate other information about that topic, Oduduwa. It will now correlate the relationship between the two. It will now generate its own.
Okay.
And tell you, okay, this and this is what we're talking about Oduduwa. Oduduwa, according to this, the history of this, he was born this, he died this, he fought this war, he did this. And you're like, this wasn't in the original book I gave you. The next time you tell it to write again, it would write even with a better understanding or slighter version, because there's an aspect of AI we called the aspect that talks about the AI learning of its own, machine learning. There's an aspect of machine learning where the AI learns from his mistakes, learns from what is done in time past. So if we are to look at ChatGPT, for example, or any of the other popular LLM, the newer versions will always be better than the older ones. Not necessarily because people are sitting down to recode everything. Every information you feed AI is taking it to make itself better. So I liken AI to this. A student that is slightly brilliant in an exam hall, to his right is seated another very brilliant student, to his left is seated another brilliant student. The brilliant student to the right and to the left, they are teaching the not too brilliant student in the middle. He's copying the good part from the right, good part from the left. He submits his results, his solution papers. There is a likelihood that the student in between will score higher than the two extremely brilliant people by the right and left. So humans, when we feed AI, we are giving our best to the AI. It's learning. It's giving us the result in the short run, but in the long run, it's going to take our place. It's going to take our place in the long run. The market is going to suffer for it. Talking of labor market, maybe when we get to the pros and cons of AI, we'll look at
Absolutely, absolutely.
we'll
I
look at it.
I just wanted to thank you for that. And viewers, please don't forget to subscribe, share, and follow. I'll be sharing Shala Oshinawa's social media details for those who want to follow him for more expert knowledge on IT in general, data science, and AI. But Shala, you mentioned a couple of things. I'd just like you to quickly explain for those watching. I know the terms, but they might not know what they are. You mentioned LLM, you mentioned DOS earlier, you mentioned a couple of other terms. So if you don't mind, just sort of like explaining it for those watching, so they understand what you were saying when
Okay.
you talk about LLM and any other acronym when
Okay.
you're
So
generative AI, which is Gen AI.
LLM means large language model.
Okay.
From the name, large language, it means the modeling itself entails there's a lot of data, there is a lot of vocabulary, permit my use of a vocabulary inside it. So
Okay.
the LLM is an evolution that came in from 2014 with the coming of ChatGPT. LLM is when you're able to go to the system, ask a question
Hmm.
to the ChatGPT or any other one, Copilot, and is able to generate. You give it a simple two-statement question, it gives you 50, 100 phrases answers. Because inside the model, there is so much knowledge. The model has become an embodiment or a working knowledge. So that is what LLM is all about. Unlike
Okay.
when we had the normal AI that you could just predict, tell me maybe if Brazil will play Nigeria, who would win based on Brazil or Nigeria's past match. The old model would, that's what I mean, the old model, I'm talking of prior to the LLM, prior to Gen AI and all that. We just say, okay, maybe Nigeria would win, maybe Brazil will win. If you try it with LLM now, it will tell you from the first time Nigeria and Brazil ever played, tell you all that happened, what led to the
That
defeat of
history.
Brazil or the history. So that is the large language model. The embodiment, so much has been pumped into it that it's almost like a human being. And in many instances, smarter than most human beings on earth now. So when it's pouring out, it's just pouring out all the information, pouring out all the information. So that is large language model. Then
Okay.
DOS that I mentioned, this operating system, before Windows, the first Windows version, sometime 1980,
Okay.
what computer, for those who've watched maybe the earlier versions of what's this popular uh, what's this popular film? What's this? James Bond. The James Bonds of the 60s. The computer systems you will see then, 60s and 70s, were DOS, black screen.
Ah, I remember them.
So that is this operating system. Those black screens that you just see, you'll be typing and you'll be like, what are you typing for? Those in the younger generation, they probably won't know that. But that slowed down a lot of things. There was question of data. Apart from the DOS model, there's also the issue with the CPU power, capacity of the CPU, hard disk storage, a lot of issues computer had then. But when Microsoft came up with the Windows version, that was the first time humans could see a user-friendly interface. Whatever you're going to use in life, once it is easier to your eyes, the power of the eyes is so that when your eyes can say, okay, I think I can easily get around this, your mind will be ready to learn that thing. So that was what when Microsoft came up with the Windows, a lot of things just blew in terms of evolution, in terms of improvement in computer knowledge also. More people became programmers also because now there was user-friendly interface for them to learn coding. More systems came in, more database, backend languages, the Fox base of the world, the Paradox of the world, several of them came up in the 80s and the 90s. The Visual Basic for applications, C Sharp, Java, everything was just exploding because now you can go to a system and you would like what you are seeing. And then you can say, okay, what is it you even want to teach me? What is it I can learn from this computer system? So that is what the DOS came about. The DOS, what DOS means. Then also I mentioned natural language processing. Natural language processing is about the computer being able to think almost like a human being. In fact,
I like that word, almost, yeah.
Now, without NLP, you probably would not have your LLM now.
So there's a link.
There's a link.
Got it.
This is my own assertion. NLP, for example, let me give you a powerful illustration of NLP or examples of NLP applications. When you go to your Google and you say, good morning. What is good morning in Yoruba?
Karo.
The ability of the system to first even understand what you are saying, good morning, and translate to Yoruba is NLP. It's the branch of data science that is called natural language. That's why I call it natural language. So now,
I have a question.
Okay, go on.
That natural language, can it be extended to jargon and slang and multiple languages, or just the language that has been fed to understand?
First of all, who feeds it? It is the human being.
Yes.
So if you feed it jargon, it learns the jargon.
Okay.
I'm cautious of my words here. If a nation wants to fight another nation, and one nation has more access to LLM, because of the power of the mind, what you feed your mind with, they can train AI to be biased. The other nation that they are not the ones who own the LLM, anytime anybody from that nation goes to just get information, it is what whosoever has trained it to say to you, and you're like, LLM cannot be wrong. This is what LLM. I've heard people hack you. Who told you can be wrong? Somebody wrote something.
So that's linked. Sorry to cut in. That is linked to the training data. So that supposes that the quality of the training data and the ethical nature of the training data and the unbiased nature of the training data is what is going to form the output that is going to come out of that LLM that you are investigating, interrogating, and communicating with.
Okay, I would refrain my answer. You used unbiased, ethical. It is not ethical and it is not unbiased.
Right.
Because let's assume I have a dog. I will train the dog the way I want the dog to behave. So that's a subjective training.
That's not objective, it's subjective.
If the dog is going for a competition and I want the dog to win, I will train it the way it will be trained to win the competition. It is still subjective.
Yes.
So in reality, AI is not objective. But those who do it would say it's subject. It can never be objective, because developers, even when we write codes, the project manager can come and say, no, I don't want it like this. I want it like this. And you say, no, this is better. No, do it this way. This is what we intend to achieve. That is somebody's opinion, overriding what every other person under him or her thinks.
The common good, as they call it.
Good,
yes.
So AI is not unbiased, and ethical issues is still a major concern all over the world with regards to AI, and it will still be there for the next couple of years.
Thank you very much. And I have a couple of more questions. So in your view, what are the most exciting ways AI is already improving our daily lives without even us realizing? So just moving to the pros and cons section of this interview. So just again, what are the most exciting ways AI is already improving our daily lives without us even realizing that it's AI, for example?
Okay, so one of the first ways I will mention is productivity stroke efficiency.
Okay.
You can achieve more at lower cost with AI. You can do a lot. You can do a lot. Okay, let me be very, very practical now. Use my own example, my own life. I had my undergraduate degree when AI did not exist. Well, I mean AI did not exist, I mean the ChatGPTs and co did not exist. LLM did not exist.
LLM.
Did not exist. By the time I was going in for my master's, LLM was the talk of town. So I made an atmosphere where any simple question, people will go online, they are typing together. They don't even want to use their brain again. So they're able to get very good result. A teacher will say, wow, this person is very intelligent. It's a lie. It is LLM that produced the result. You understand? So people are able to be more productive. Even in the workspace, they are able to be more productive.
Yes.
A supervisor can say, okay, can you just draft a proposal about this and this and this? And say, oh, I need it by tomorrow. 50-page proposal. In those days when there was no LLM, where do you want to start? First, how do you even think of the content? Not talk of type 50 pages. But now with LLM, you can do that. So I'll just do some minor tweaking. So productivity and efficiency is the first. Secondly, I would say creativity.
Creativity, okay, another pro.
I would say creativity as a pro, but
it can also be a con.
It's a caveat. It can be a con.
Okay.
Creativity in the sense that I might not be a musician, or no, let me not use that. I might not be a cartoonist, be able to sketch cartoons. I might not have the skill set, but I might have the interest in it. And with AI, I can start drawing cartoons or start generating cartoons, put them online, start making my money. Things I don't have the knowledge to do, but my mind can think about it, but I don't have the knowledge. AI can aid that creativity and help me produce the results. But the cons is, when we get to the cons, I will mention the cons. Then, of course, another one is accessibility.
Accessibility.
Yes. Maybe except for countries of the world where internet is banned. Maybe for war purpose, for control purposes and all the rest. Or where using of ChatGPT might be banned, I don't know. But except for if such countries exist, AI has become, this LLM has become very accessible to practically everybody. Okay. Practically everybody. Primary schools, I can't even mention second primary schools, even some intelligent nursery school students can go to ChatGPT, can go to Gemini, can go to Copilot, can go to any of the other ones and then just put in. So accessibility. So genuinely, if you want to learn, knowledge can be accessible to you.
Okay.
Now,
So
before,
you've
go on,
mentioned
please.
effectiveness, you've mentioned
Productivity.
efficiency, you've mentioned productivity, you've mentioned speed because you talked about a 50-page report being
Yes.
condensed to less than a day,
Mhm.
and you also talked about accessibility. But carry on,
Yes.
please.
Yeah. So with accessibility, knowledge is now accessible. Now, before LLM, if you just go to Google and say, Google, you pick a topic, maybe financial planning, Google will probably just take you to a page which might be paid or free, the paid content. You will now have to be reading a content somebody has written. But with LLM now, it will just come definition of financial planning, pros and cons. You can have a working book and decide to just sit down, read, understand financial planning enough to be able to advise someone. So it makes
Hmm.
knowledge accessible for those who want to know. It will structure it like it can write a book for you. You can say, write this book, assuming I'm a learner who does not know anything about financial planning. It will write it as a learner for you.
Okay.
In the days of Google alone, before to LLM, you can't do that. Because Google or MSN would have to go online and be looking for. And when he's looking for it, the person whose site is visiting probably would have written at the back end of the site that this is just for learners, which you cannot trust. That is actually for learners.
Yes.
But the LLM is able to genuinely ascertain. In fact, the current ChatGPT, the CEO, that's ChatGPT 5, the CEO, when they were going to release it sometime in August, yeah, we're still in August, said the training of the ChatGPT is now almost at par with what a PhD student can do.
Wow. That's incredible.
What a PhD student can do,
That's
depending
incredible.
on how well you are able to use the prompts and other things. The training is such that a PhD student, you can stand beside a PhD student in a presentation, probably outdo the PhD student.
Interesting. So, I mean, before we go into cons, I have one question to ask before we talk about the cons from your view. In the UK, AI is already transforming industries like finance, like the transport industry, logistics, supply chain, and healthcare. Which of these do you think Nigeria could realistically benefit from in the short term?
Oh, so I ask myself, we ask ourselves rather, is data publicly available in Nigeria for all of this? Because AI would need data, if not publicly available, at least let there be people who can approach government and say, okay, we're building this LLM model just for this sector. Please, do you have an archive for the last 30, 40, 50 years for this
Yes.
topic you want to
Yeah.
train? So Nigeria can benefit from anyone. It's left to those in each of those sectors, whether it's healthcare, whether it's finance. It's okay, we want to partner, we want to leverage on technology, make technology or make this knowledge easier available. We don't want to make the mistake. We don't want the future generation to make the mistake the previous generation made.
Hmm.
And that's part of what AI can do. Once there is so much knowledge built in the LLM, you can learn from it. So from any of them, we can benefit. Nigeria can benefit as a nation. It's just left for the leaders to collaborate with
To collaborate.
data scientists, machine learning engineers, and data is not for anybody's personal consumption. Public data. It
It
should
should
be
be
readily
public.
available. We shouldn't be scared whether maybe the opposition party will use it against me or the rest. We should think
Nice.
more of the general populace, the benefit. such. So all those sectors, even more sectors, can also
Can
benefit from AI.
Okay. And then to go to the cons, what are the cons? I think you touched on a couple earlier. But what where you talked about is not unbiased. If I remember, I also said is not objective. So those were
Objective, yes.
two cons that you already mentioned. But what other? And you also talked about the ethical part, that the ethical concern that we're likely to still be experiencing over the next couple of years. What other cons are in AI that viewers need to be aware of?
Okay, other ones is what I'll call hallucination or accuracy.
What is
Now,
hallucination?
a human being, so hallucination is you are seeing something as being real, but it's actually not real.
Hmm.
So AI too can hallucinate based on the data that has been given that is wrong. Remember, AI does not know how to tell which data is right or wrong.
Hmm.
So where it has been fed wrong data, whether intentionally or because even the person feeding doesn't have enough knowledge, AI will speak as an authority. Will speak as an authority and will talk or give you the information you want. But in reality, that data or that information being given is not real. So that's why I call it hallucination. It's talking as if it's real, but it's actually not real. But the user would not be able to differentiate, except it's a user who already has domain knowledge,
Hmm.
understanding. For example, a doctor who is asking AI for some basic question and he feeds, and then AI says, okay, this drugs is to be used for malaria, and the doctor, but this drug was banned 6 months ago. So AI has not been updated to take note that this drug is no more supposed to be used for treatment of malaria, for example. So hallucination is one of it, which also hallucination accuracy, the two go hand in hand. Then we talked
Okay.
about bias or fairness. You can train the data to affect other people's thinking
Hmm.
and win the battle of the mind by using AI.
So, in other words, manipulate their thinking, their thought process.
Yes, you can manipulate other people's thinking by using AI. Just like the media itself can be used to
So I'm
manipulate other
thinking,
people's
I'm
thinking.
thinking political campaigns. I'm thinking
Correct? Anything, wars between one country or the other.
worldviews. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can use it can be used like that. Then there's also the issue of security
Right. Okay.
and misuse. Now, also recently, one of the founders of not founders, one of the senior executives of one of the top LLM models we have said the data you feed into this LLM can even be used in a court case.
Interesting.
So, for example, I want to use ChatGPT most times because I want to be able to go back to what I'm working on. I would store my name. I will sign. Of course, I will log in, and then he already has my details. So it can be used in a court case. That's one. Then general misuse also. Information is not all information. I'm not talking of public information now. Some information should be on need to know basis. For example, in an organization, you could say, no, this information, only the MD should know it. Only the board of directors should know it.
Yes.
But with regards to LLM, it's not like that. Anything that is there online, you can just go type and it will give you.
Yes.
The information can be in the hands of the wrong people and invariably they can misuse it. Then there's also the issue of deep fakes. A time will come,
What is it?
except something is fake.
Hmm.
maybe somebody closes your voice and calls me and says, hey, I'm in need of money. I was kidnapped. Please send 30,000 pounds. That's deep fake. And I probably will send the money. I will know it is not you.
Using that emotional urgency.
Yes. So the voice will be exactly your own voice.
Wow. Which has been cloned.
Which has been cloned, yes.
Interesting.
Cloning has been existing prior to AI, but with this LLM, it's now easier. It's now easier to clone. And a time will come. Okay, so before the advent, when computer came in, the next thing we saw after computer was viruses coming in, people hacking systems, which was they were trying to get, people with wrong motives, even though there's a part of hacking called ethical hacking, but we're not talking about that. But people want to hack into systems, especially when online banking, etc. became popular. Hackers also became popular. The same thing with AI. Those who will be using deep fakes to clone people's voice. People would go use people's voice, another person's voice, to say, okay, give me, I came to collect, I'm calling on behalf of your mother. The child might not know. Calling on behalf of your mother, can you please open the door when it's 4 p.m.? I'll be at the door. It is deep fake. So a time would even come that even in the law court, some evidences have to be really scrutinized to find out which ones are real and which ones are fake.
Which ones are fake? Okay. Okay, that's very, very interesting.
So
and
security misuse.
Sorry, carry on.
There's also the issue of legal issues. Legal issues with regards to the legality of what is being generated.
Okay.
For example, if a lawyer gives you an advice, you can trust it because he or she is a professional. If you go to ChatGPT or any other one for medical or legal advice, you can be sure that advice might be true, might not be true, but the most important thing is for medical issues, for
legal
issues, you can be sure you cannot really trust AI. So there's also the issue of legality. Then also there is also the societal impact of AI, which includes, of course, job loss, then risk of over-reliance on AI. If we are not careful, our IQ will further be reducing, the average human being, especially the generation that is going to come. Now, when I was young, at least in secondary school, back home in Nigeria, we could memorize the 4-figure table, every aspect of the 4-figure table. I don't think those around can do such again now. Because before us, there was a generation that studied without calculator and did exams and passed. Then calculator came in to make it easier for us to do calculation, but also it reduced capacity of our brain to think. Then computer came in also. Now we are seeing AI coming in. So there's a likelihood that the IQ, intelligence quotient of the average human being, will reduce over time. So those are the cons I can talk of with regards to artificial intelligence, especially Gen AI.
Thank you very much. Just one last point I wanted to add. You've done a fantastic job, guys. Shola is a data scientist, and I'm blown away by the level of intelligence and knowledge and history around AI, taking us from Alan Turing to where we are now, which is ChatGPT 5.0. I know a little bit about AI myself, Shola, and I only know of one regulation, which is the EU AI Act 2024, Do you know of any plans to or to for them to create more regulations? Because just like you said, the legal part, if we only have one act in the EU, UK is not even in the EU. So I'm assuming UK might join the EU Act or have their own act. What about the US? What about Africa? What about Asia? What are we going to have the mess that we had with the internet, where nobody owns the internet, and then, like you said, there could be some issues with regards to now we know or we're able to ascertain that the training data was intentionally biased to cause harm to people. So if I give you an example, say training data has been fed, assuming has been fed to favor, say, white people over black people, or men over women, or young people over old people. Pick your demographic as you deem fit. And they've said for people who hit these conditions, a certain race, a certain age, a certain gender, who lives in a certain location, give them credit cards, give them loans. Now, other people who don't fall into that condition or predefined criteria, do not give it to them. And then you remove the human element of somebody looking into it to say, well, I've been noticing a pattern here where these sets of people are not getting their loans approved, and this set of people are getting their loans approved. But the lending firm, the bank, or the the finance house has employed the use of AI to make those decisions to help their lending criteria, and that has been biased from the beginning, which will obviously affect the outcome, which is loans will be given to people in B, in the B pot, and in the A pot they get rejected. Currently, we're not having a lot of that now, or maybe in the last 5 10 years, because you will go through some kind of like manual process. But what are your thoughts about something like that?
Okay, so unfortunately, when AI has been trained, most times people who train it, even when they notice there's error, because of the work it would entail, because it's one thing, it goes beyond feeding the data.
Hmm.
Feeding AI with the data is just one of the steps in training the data.
Yep.
You need to separate test from training. You train it, you now test it on live sample. You have to retrain, test. So there's a lot of work. So sometimes when error has occurred, the proper thing to be done is to totally do away with the data. But most times that is not being done. What is
Okay.
being done is a way to retrain, because ML, machine learning, the AI can learn better. But unfortunately, in this instance, it cannot learn better because what it's supposed to learn from is already biased. What it's
Hmm.
supposed to learn from with regards to, okay, let us now give blacks loan. We've made a mistake. Is already is going to be saying, no, don't give, don't give, don't give, don't give. The
I get you.
sample population used to train it itself is wrong. So the property would have been to do away with it, with sample population. And in fact, sometimes the data might or might not exist again, but the algorithm would have, gotten used to it. So it's done away with. But that is not what occurs. They don't do away with it. You just, because AI can learn from experience. So just the notion that it can learn, just get better. Let's just see whether it can learn better. So in such situation, I would encourage those concerned to take the bull by the horn. It's better you get something that is right than trying to
So
patch patch
yes,
something that is not too good. Then also, your question on whether there will be, whether I know
more
of any
more regulation. Yeah.
regulation. Okay, so this is my own projection with regard to the future of Gen AI, that at least within the next 3 to 7 years, there will be stricter and more regulations coming. And why do I
Okay.
think so? AI has come to stay.
Hmm.
AI is being used practically across every industry.
Hmm.
AI is likely going to be taking, in fact, I started taking job roles from people.
Hmm.
AI is almost being like a human being. The volume of money, the volume of data, the volume of risk involved is so high that more regulations, laws are normally made generally in human society when the risk is becoming high or when a set of people are becoming more powerful or becoming the influence is becoming so large. And that is what is happening to AI and will happen in the next few years. So more regulations are going to come, but I predict a situation where each regulation made by a particular country will be done to favor itself.
Hmm.
So UK is going to make a publication a legislation. It will do it to favor itself. The Germany is going
Yes.
to do it in the US, but surely there will be, I predict, at most 3 years we would see more
Some
of
kind of
such
regulation.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much. And for my viewers that want to get in touch with you, what do you have any social media that you want to share with us, or share with them if they need to follow you?
Sincerely, I'm not really a social media person,
Fair
but
enough.
I have a personal website. If
Okay,
most
please
times
share.
I'm online, I'm trying to learn something new. But I have a personal website, sholaoshinowo.com.
So Shola, so is that www or HTTPS?
Anyone, just even if you just type Shola Oshinowo, it will redirect you to. So whether you type www or but just Shola Oshinowo, SO, I will just
So they can follow you at sholaoshinowo.com. Is that correct?
yes, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it's Oshinowo. Let me just quickly
Yes.
correct that. Yeah, so guys, you've seen it here. You can follow him on Shola Oshinowo.com. I think. Yeah, sholaoshinowo.com. That's with an H. So
Mhm.
please follow him, go to his website. He's a data scientist, he's very intelligent, has a wealth of experience within IT, machine learning. There's so many things that we can talk about, Internet of Things, etc. And in future episodes, we will be looking on how to use Gen AI, how to use ChatGPT 5.0, like you said, or any other tools, how to use it. Because now, if everybody is doing the same thing, then there will still be people who do it better than everybody else. And hopefully, the likes of Shala would be able to show us through prompt engineering. So we don't want to say everything in this episode. We want to segment them. AI itself is a beast, and which with different tentacles in different areas. We talked about how we can help in banking earlier, and how we can help in transport, healthcare, etc. So in future episodes, we will look to segment it into other areas. But Shola, I just wanted to thank you so much for this, staying with us till the end, and giving us your time. I really appreciate it. The channel appreciates it as well. Please let's make this interactive. If you have any questions for myself or for Shola, Do you have any comments? Do you use AI yourself? How do you use it? How has it helped you in your daily life? What are your own concerns? What are your own cons? Do you agree with the pros? Do you agree with the cons? What are your thoughts? Please like, please share, please subscribe. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one.